Um, oops. So saw Mockingjay Part 2. The Hunger Games series is over. Jeez. Yeah, it ended pretty much how you want it to end and all that stuff. Like, I don't want to be a dick and be like, good, that was predictable, but it was like, it kind of was, but it's like, that's kind of the ending you wanted anyway, so, you know, if you want to be that kind of a snob, sure. But yeah, so it picks up like literally like right after the previous movie, which is like after freaking like PETA fucking chokes the shit out of her and she's like bruised up and she's like you know all that stuff. And they go into like anyway, let's get some stuff done. And you're like, "Oh, okay. Shit, we're going right into this." So anyway, they're just like the previous movie doing more of like that whole propaganda stuff and we need was it like the help of District 2 because we got all the other District 2's we've got all the other districts except for District 2 Electric Boogaloo, and so they're like, well, we need their help, and fucking what's her name, Gwendolyn from Game of Thrones is there like for just that scene. I was like, I kind of wish I saw a little bit more of her, but anyway, we'll see in Star Wars like next month, so we'll see her. Yeah, so that happens. It's pretty much like now it's like their fight to like we gotta go to the Capitol and kill President Snow, and you're like, all right, that's like get the One Ring to Mount Doom. So like majority of the movie is like her like and her group of people going. So it's like her and Gail and what's her name, Natalie who's also of Game of Thrones, and she's there, and freaking Foggy from Daredevil, you know, and a couple other people, and Black Guy, which, you know, the spoiler, Black Guy dies. I had a feeling he was gonna die. I even said to Glee, I was like, ah, shit. I was like, I don't want Black Guy to die. She's like, you know he's gonna die. I'm like, I know. And then he dies. I was glad at least he lasted as long as he has. You know, he could have lasted not as long. God, how do chairs work? But yeah. So it was a lot of like, okay, well, here in the capital area, there's a bunch of like, pretty much minefields kind of thing. Pretty much minefields, not mind. I don't know why the D kept coming out. Minefields. But instead of just like, ah, shit, you step on it, it explodes, it's more like, there's a sensor stuff and like fire and shit happens, and or like you just get riddled with bullets and all that crazy stuff. So yeah, there was a lot of that, and you're just like, oh fuck. Like, shoot an arrow between those two buildings. Okay. Michael Bay explosions. Actually, that does happen a lot. At one point, Glee does save Michael Bay because it got a little bit like crazy like that. And then there's another part where like Black Guy's like, all right, I'm just gonna take this rock here and then just throw it, and all of a sudden it's like these huge miniguns, which is funny to call them miniguns. And they're like, and then like PETA is still like all kind of brainwashy and trying to recover like that, like the whole like old school soap opera song. Like, I have amnesia, you know. Well, not like that, but he's like brainwashed, so he's kind of like, I don't know, like, I was told that Katniss is bad, but she's like good, and I don't know, she's bad, and she's like good, and you're like, alright, calm the fuck down, bro, like, Jesus. So yeah, they're just going about, you know, and then, like, these people die, like, like I said, Black Guy dies, a bunch of other people die. It doesn't, like, I swear, whenever the freaking, I was about to say Rebel Alliance, so much Star Wars on the mind. Pretty much that. Whenever, like, the Rebellion, you know, those people, like, they're coming out, it just, even like the last review I said, it just makes me think of Les Mis, because they're all so, like, tattered in that thing, and then, like, they kind of come as, like, an ensemble, and you really expect them to say, like, do you hear the people sing? You're like, oh my god, and they're like, you know, anyway, that's just me, because fucking, like, musical nerd here. But anyway, so they're pretty much like going through all these, I guess, crazy traps, all that stuff. So at one point, they're like, oh, we gotta go underground. It's like, wow, like, this movie, a lot of it seemed like a video game. Like, it seemed like a lot of it was a video game, because it's like, oh, of course, there's like, well, you know, you're out in the clearing, you gotta like, traverse yourself through this thing, and then, oh, all of a sudden you gotta go through the sewer. There's always, like, a sewer level in a lot of these video games, you know? I think I even mentioned it in, like, the the previous movie review where I was saying how, like, oh my god, suddenly became Call of Duty and all that stuff, because it was just like, you know, all that shit. But yeah, so of course there's always a sewer level, and you're there, and like Foggy's all like scared because apparently he was like trapped underground for like 5 years. It took him like 5 years to get out, and so he's like, you know, yeah. So it's all this stuff, and at one point it looked like those like an under passage. Yeah. So they're like, oh, we gotta hide, and like everyone's like hiding, like there's like a little fork in the road thing, and it's coming this way, and they're all like hiding here, but Katniss like in the middle with like this freaking like thing, like, you know, and it's like a lot of like there's some like soldier like Daft Punk looking people, and then more of it's like I think military like vehicles. You can't really tell because it goes by so fast. But part of me is like, did no one go buzzing by and just go, hey? That's just me. Yes, thank you for telling me I have emails. But yeah, there was that happens, and sort of traversing underneath. And at one point, it looks like they're like in the underground, like water drainage spot, and like I forgot what part of Japan. I remember reading about where it's like these huge pillars, and like the reason why like Japan is not gonna ever get flooded because of where they are at sea levels, because they have this thing that like this huge thing underground that completely drains. Blah blah. Anyway, it just looked like that. Like, don't mind me. I read a lot. So, there was that, and so yeah, when they're in the little sewer level, there's that lady, oh god, I forgot where else she's been. All that's coming to my mind right now is, like, she was on, like, True Blood as the, this thingy. Whatever, that's not the point. So they're underground, and they're, like, going through all this stuff, and all I'm thinking is, like, okay, it's dark, yada yada, it's just, there's gonna be, like, all I kept thinking was, like, there's gonna be jump scares. Every time something gets kind of quiet, and the music does that, like, dun 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 dun, and you're like, oh, okay. And freaking Gale and his fucking, like, Daryl Dixon crossbow had a fucking, like, it was like a flamethrower, because he'll just, like, get his freaking thing, and you see like that, it's just like, you know, the acetylene or something, and then it's like, and it'll just go over, and then just, like, explode, and you're like, well, you know, and part of me is like, don't you got, like, a flare arrow or something, you know, like, again, hearkening back to the previous review of the previous movie, it's like I was saying how Katniss was like fucking Hawkeye with her explosive arrows and all that shit, and at one point, when they're escaping all that stuff, she only had one arrow left, but then she's sitting there like, oh, let me just, like, you know, oh, let me just put these things together, cool, now I got more arrows. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? Oh, okay, I don't know, maybe there's more explanation on it, maybe they mention it, I don't know, but anyway, but yeah, there's one part, they're like, you know, they're keeping watch in, like, this thing, and they're all kind of sitting there, like, napping and stuff, and PETA is still, like, restrained or whatever shit, and then you just hear, like, this noise in the distance, and you're like, the fuck is that? And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, I'm thinking they have, like, I don't know, like, just people, or, like, crazy sewer bums, I don't know. There was when one of the freaking, like, flamethrower arrows goes off, and it was just, like, just a lot of fire. I was just really hoping there was just, like, a rat that runs by just on fire, and you're just like, ugh. But, you know, this is imaginary land, not New York, so, okay. Yeah, like I said, I did enjoy it. It's just, it was pretty much, you're just, like, watching to see if, like, if she is gonna kill freaking, you know, the President Snow, and if, like, PETA's gonna be fine again, and if Gale will shut the fuck up. You know, so, Jesus Christ, computer. But yeah, so, you get to the part where, like, oh, of course there's a part where, like, we gotta get out, what is that sound? Oh my god, those are, like, you know, mutts from the Capitol, and you're like, oh, dogs? Okay. You're like, alright, well, there's parts where, like, you're wading in water like this, so, you know, fine. So, of course, there's a part, just like a video game, where you gotta crawl, but you know, like, in real life and in a video game, if you're in a hurry, but the moment your, like, fucking character's crawling, you're like, Mom! You're like, argh! Like, hitting the button from the crawl, and they're just like, and then you could be like the enemy that's, like, swiping at your feet, and you're like, ah, my health bar, crawl faster! You know? But of course, like, everyone crawls by, but then, like, the older lady, the one I said was, like, on True Blood or something, and it's, of course, like, I don't understand why they didn't, like, throw, like, a flare or something behind, because they kept, like, the light like, she kept looking behind, like, shining the light to make sure no one was behind it. But, like, no one, when they were looking through the little crawl space for her to come through, was like, alright, let me shine this freaking, like, light and make sure you're okay. But the moment she goes, alright, cool, and then I turn back around, wait a second, then she turns around, and all of a sudden it's like, ah! Fucking I Am Legend, like, zombie vampire weird, you know, pale-faced man from, like, you know, Pan's Labyrinth shit coming out, and it's like, ah! And it becomes like a fucking cutscene to a boss battle thing, and they're all like going, running, and all that stuff. Katniss gets like thrown, you know, and she's all fucked, and she's already like bruised as fuck, because there's a part where there's like, oh, we're gonna do things and stuff, and she gets shot, and it's just like, you know, bruising from getting shot, and it was like, ugh. So she gets tossed over, everyone gets thrown about, and all that stuff, and like, there's like, oh, there's a ladder, get up the ladder, kind of fuck. And again, it's just like a video game where it's like, you could fight the enemies, and then fucking, like, once you figure out you could fight through these guys, you can, like, either fight all of them and collect all your extra points, you know, like your health little things, or whatever stuff they, like, drop from them, or you just say fuck it, and you start, you know, crawling up the ladder, and you're like, okay, whew, checkpoint, you know? But it's like, you know, all these people are going, fucking, what's her name, Natalie's going, and fucking, like, Foggy's going up there, and, they got fucking PETA going, and of course Katniss is finally going, but then fucking, Finnick, him and his big, weird mace thingy-majigger, like, harpoon slash odd umbrella looking thing, whatever the fuck it is, there's probably a better term than what the fuck I'm saying, you know, just like, he's like fighting them, of course he's just, all of a sudden he goes from like, oh no, to being like, and then like, Katniss is like close range, like shooting arrows at them, and I kept thinking, I was like, I know that's like your primary weapon, and you love, you know, like Hawkeye, god, I love arrows, but you have a gun. Like, you see her, like, loading a fucking magazine, you know, and, like, she has a fucking sidearm. Like, they're right there. They're literally as close as my fucking camera is to me to shoot them. Like, by the time you're, like, pulling back to do that, like, you know, and she literally, like, wastes, it's, again, like, not to keep comparing it to a video game, but it's kind of like, alright, you're wasting your explosive arrows. You're wasting your, like, good shit that, you know, doesn't come often, or you have to buy in the inventory tent kind of thing. But instead you can use, like, okay, Lara Croft, use your fucking pistols that you have unlimited, you know, like, rounds for. I don't know why I have so many video game things in my mind. Maybe just because how it, like, progressed. But, anyway, so they're, whatever, so they're running through, like, I guess, looks like the train station kind of thing. It looks like one, like, here. So they're running, and all of a sudden, like, freaking Foggy's brother turns into fucking pixels, because, you know, they have, like, the lights, and all of a sudden the lights, like beam down, and you just freaking literally just turn into pixels, and you're dead, so they're all, like, dodging the lights, and it's like, what the, like, that part happens, I was like, what the fuck, like, Glee starts cracking up, I'm like, he turned into pixels! I just saw that, like, I saw that movie, and throughout the entire movie, Mo is like, wait, what? Who? Huh? You know, she's doing that a lot. And then, yeah, so while that's happening, the fucking, like, ground is like, and again, like I said, it's like a video game where you're just like, you just gotta, like, run away, where it's like, all of a sudden, like, oh, your controller's, like, shaking, you're like, oh god, what do I do? And you're just like, rah! You know, it's a lot of that. It's literally like, while you're getting to, like, the end of a video game, you gotta go through all this other shit. And I also feel like it's like a thing that you tell people, like, you wouldn't believe the day I had. First of all, I had to go through the sewer to get here. Plus, then these freaking I Am Legend zombie vampire thingies are coming after me. Then, this light beam just kills this guy next to me, and then the ground starts ripping apart, and then, you know, yeah. And then I meet a cat person, you know? And then, like, that was, like, that tiger's cat person, again, I haven't read the books, I don't know, like, how much more of a, like, a crucial part they play in there, besides just hiding at, like, their store. But it was just like, and, like, when they just had her, it was like, and there's this character, like, it just was like, and here you are, that happens, blah, 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 anyway, blah, blah, blah. So it gets to, like, where Katniss and Gale are, like, all fucking, like, Star Wars hooded up, like, alright, cool, gotta, you know, head over to the, sorry, head over to, Donald Sutherland's, I almost said castle, I'm tired, mansion thingy, seeks salvation, and then the whole time you're like, that's a fucking trap. It's obviously a trap, like, because they know that Katniss is gonna be there, and then yeah, and of course then like they drop those little like container things that you saw like in the games, but and then as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's gotta be bombs. It's gotta be bombs. They are not sending you anything good, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 and that's when it got like crazy Michael Bay's because it's like just fucking shit blowing up. And then at one point, so then they're like, oh no, we need medics, and all of a sudden like these medics show up. And then freaking Rose, her sister, is there. She's like, Primrose! And I was like, oh, well, she's dead. And she turns, and all of a sudden, I was like, oh my god, she dead! Bitch me dead! And, like, by then, Gale was, like, taken away and all that whatever fucking stuff. And so then, like, because of all the explosions, like, she, you know, passes out, and she's in, like, the infirmary, and fucking Woody Harrelson's there, and her mom, and it sounds like an insult. And you know, all that stuff, whatever, and then, like, they have Snow, like, chained up, blah, 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 and then fucking, what's her name, Julianne Moore, I think that's her name, she's like, anyway, I'm the new, president, and you're like, alright, now, who really appointed you that? So they have, and then Jenna Malone shows up, by then, you know, it, like, this journey has been a while, because when you see Jenna Malone, obviously in the previous movie and this one, her head's like just buzzed, and now she has like just like this much hair, you know. And they're doing the whole like, yeah, okay, so yeah, Katniss, we want you to kill Snow. Like this whole point is that we've been trying to get you to kill Snow, and also we're gonna hold another like Hunger Games, and you're like, really? It's like, yeah, we're just gonna hold another one just because, you know, for like the kids in the capital, the ones who. Well, not the ones who are, like, in the district, who are, like, you know, the poor people. But, like, let's do that for the rich people. So all of a sudden, it was like, okay, let's do, like, a rich person purge. Like, you know, let's do that. And so they're voting, like, yes or no. Of course, Jenna Malone's character is all about, like, fuck yeah, let's get back at them. And, of course, Peeta, by then, is a little bit more himself. It's like, no. And then it's like, yes and no, da-da-da. And then, like, Katniss is like, fuck yeah. And you can tell, like, she obviously, because the way how Katniss is written in the story is very much like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to let people suffer. But you can tell it was, you know, like a plan. Like, okay, I know we're gonna do this, but I got a plan, you know. And of course, Woody Harrelson's like, oh, anything the fuck she wants to do, fucking, let's just do it. What was it? Oh yeah, and I do like Jenna Malone's character because she's very much of like a who gives a fuck kind of person. Because like, and she does like. Again, I don't know how she is written in the book or anything, but I do like how she kind of calls out some bullshit with, like, Katniss and all that stuff. So, like, when Katniss first got shot and she's, like, recovering in the hospital and she visits her, she's kind of like, she's like, you know, I'm so sick and tired of this whole, like, you know, like, love triangle thing. Like, she even mentioned, like, oh, God, it's so cliche. It's like, good, it's a little self-aware that it is kind of the whole, like, love triangle thing, but, oh, yeah, you're pretending to like Peeta, but no, bitch, you really like him. Like, you have this piece, but then when you had him, you're like, yeah, I kind of like this one more. Like, alright, fine. And then, oh, like, pretty much in a lot of, like, books and stories where, you know, you got, like, the main character who's, like, chosen one kind of stuff, where she's like, yeah, I'm sick and tired of this fucking shit. Like, she pretty much is, you know, saying that. Which I like that they did have a character to kind of call out that stuff, because I feel like, you know, and a character who is like that, who is not, like, immediately, like, the villain. Like, she is technically on the good side, you know, because obviously she had participated in the Hunger Games a couple times, you know. Like, I do like characters like that, where they're like, yeah, bitch, like, I helped you, I'm on your side, but this is some bullshit. Like, I feel like that's a character I would definitely relate to, because I'd be like, no, I'm cool, do you, with the whole, you know, like, be the one to, like, you know, save the people and all that shit, but, yo, you got some you know, I'd just be like, bitch, this is some bullshit, you know? Anyway, so I do like her character a lot, you know, like, in, was it Catching Fire, at first she just seemed a bit much like, alright, but then, like, afterwards, you're like, oh, I get you. That's right, okay. Yeah, so then, like, Julianne Moore is like, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Like, so Katniss shows up in her, like, cool female armor kind of shit. I do like how the costume designs and all the wardrobe in this series, I've said over and over again. Like, I really like. That's kind of like, when I first saw, like, some clips of, like, the Hunger Games movie, I was like, shit, okay. I'm not into like the teen stuff, the books and the young adult shit, but you know, I'll go see it if it like, cause the sets kind of look cool and the costumes look good, and it is, and the makeup's amazing. But yeah, she shows up in her like really cool outfit, and she's got her fucking bow, and fucking like Donald Sutherland's like tied to like a stake and all that shit, and you already know that Donald Sutherland is like very ill and he's about to like die at any moment. Not Donald Sutherland, but President Snow. That's horrible to say, but so you're like, all right, well, shit's gotta happen soon, so. And you know, when she like pulls for the fucking thing, that she's not gonna aim for him, that she's gonna aim up and hit Julianne Moore, and of course she does, which you're just hoping for, because like the bitch went from like, we're on your side, Katniss, you know, we want you to defeat this, to being like, yo, we were totally using you this whole time just so I can be president, because I'm fucking awesome. Like, you're like, oh, you two-time bitch. But so that happens, of course, then, like, the fucking Les Mis crowd comes in and, like, literally rips, like, President Snow apart. But since this is a teen movie and it's, like, you know, PG-13, you don't really see any of that, which, you know, which I could just imagine, like, God, if this series was, like, a fucking hard R, like, just chisel. Because there's even a part where, like, one dude gets, like, pushed in, like, that black oil stuff that you see in the trailer, and he just gets, like, pulled by like these wires, and like he just gets pulled up and you just hear but you know it was like a fucking hard R. It'd just be like just like completely like exposed, like all that stuff. But that's just me. But yeah, so like then like at first it just seemed kind of like, oh, because it just kind of starts ending with like Katniss like back at District 12 and like that, you know, the Winter Circle like apartment complex house thing. And you're like, and then she's just, like, there by herself because her district's kind of gone. Kind of. And she's there, and she yells at the cat, and she goes full, like, Blair Witch, like, snot bubble, like, she's dead! Like, you know. And then bless Jennifer Lawrence for having, like, the best ugly cry face. And you're like, okay. You know, and just snot bubbles everywhere, and she's yelling at the cat, and the cat's like, bitch, what the... Then she takes the cat and she's like, hey, the kitty. And the kitty's like, on the cat. You know, she goes up, blah, blah. She comes back, sees PETA is there, just like planting primroses, because, you know, why not? And then, you know, you could tell he's a bit better. And then, like, she's like, oh my god, you're back, and all that stuff. And, like, at first I was like, okay, the movie just ends like this. I'm like, okay. Alright. So then... I guess they're living in the same house, obviously. So then, like, they're having, like, dinner and stuff with, like, Woody House. So then, like, she's sleeping in her bed. She can't sleep. She goes in, like, his bed. Just kind of cuddles up next to him. Because why not? It's Josh Hutcherson. He's adorable. And so, throughout the movie, because he's not sure with his whole, like, oh, are these things real or is it what they are telling me? He's like, oh, so you like me, like, you know, real or not real? And she's like, real. And everyone, like, duh, has been like, of course, you know? It's like, oh my god, it's my OTP, I totally ship it, blah, blah, blah. Whatever thing that the lovely children and some adults on the internets always talk about. Yeah, so you're like, of course they like each other. Then it's like, fade to black, fade up, it's years later. They're, like, out in, like, the parts of, like, I guess the district where it's, like, all, like, this gesture. Lovely foresty fields and stuff, and they have a, well, you see, like, PETA with his freaking, like, Ken doll hair, which I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, that's fucking ridiculous. He literally looked like a Ken doll with, like, that blonde hair, very, like, Mark Hamill, like, you know, Return of the Jedi kind of hair kind of thing going on. They have their blonde fucking, like, cherub of a child fucking, like with him on the field, and then Katniss is, like, holding a baby, and that baby was a fat baby. Also, that baby was Asian. Because when they did a close-up on the baby, I was looking, I'm like, is that an Asian baby? How do two white people make an Asian baby? Do they have, like, a fictional China there? Where they just adopted an Asian baby? You know? Like, that... It was just funny because, like, by then you know the movie's ending, and I just, like, oh god, some of the stupid jokes we were making during the movie because we're assholes, oh god, it was stupid. But yeah, so when I looked at it, I just blurted out, that baby's Asian, and the two of them, because Mo was there, were just cracking up. I was like, I can't, because that baby looked Asian. I don't know. I don't know, I don't see a lot of white babies with monolids, but I don't know, fuck it, whatever, like... Anyway, it was a really fat baby too. The like baby had like my head and like this kind of body, you know. Anyway, yeah, enough talking about that. Trailers. We got this movie called Joy that is starring Jennifer Lawrence. I have a feeling she's nominated for another Oscar for this, just because it's one of those movies where it's again, it's by the people who did Silverline Playbook thingy and American Hustle, and it's that whole like, you know, I'm a normal person and things are dramatic in my life. So like, as a lot of times things with the Academy, they don't really nominate people who do movies like fantasy kind of based kind of stuff. So it's like, you know, so of course they'll nominate someone who do like that. Or it's like, oh, I live this life and I'm a little bit different. So, and I'm showing range of emotions. But no offense to her, it just seemed like be like one of those things. There's another Alice in Wonderland movie, the Tim Burton thingy. So there's that. I think this time they CG'd Depp's eyes to be a little bit bigger, and then of course freaking like the Queen's head seems to like everything just seems to be a bit bigger. Like they're just like, fuck it, we have the CGI, you know, like budget, let's just do that, you know, and it looks a little bit better than the previous one. At the same time, I'm just like, I don't even know, because it, you know, that's my response to it. Like, maybe we'll see it. I definitely can't guarantee whether I'll actually see it or not. They had the Zoolander trailer, which I saw earlier this week anyway, and that was fucking hilarious, and definitely we're gonna go see that. Oh yeah, there's this like thing called the Fifth Wave. Glee thought it was about like a Bible kind of story, because it seemed like it was like something rapture apocalypse kind of thing, but then it involved aliens, so it was like, and I thought they were trying to like remake like Close Encounters or some shit like that, but like make it like really crazy serious. Yeah, so Chloe Moretz is in it, and she's like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, like, fight for things and stuff. Oh yeah, there was, was it the Snow White the Huntsman thingy majigger in the second movie, which looks really awesome, because I really like Jessica Chastain. Like, I really, really like her, and her in an action role, like, it's, like, I remember when the trailer kind of started, and I just turned over to Glee and I was like, oh my god, we gotta see this movie. She's like, oh, really? Like, is it gonna be, like, just as good or better? And I just turned around and just said, women with swords. You know, because Jessica Chastain's got these fucking daggers, fucking Emily Blunt's in it, and I like, especially, I liked Emily, I've always liked Emily Blunt, but, like, definitely after seeing her in, like, Edge of Tomorrow, and again, like, action, like, oh, it's fucking awesome. And again, Charlize Theron's there, like, with total bitch face. I love her and her bitch face. Yeah, so there's gonna be that. So it looks fucking awesome. Of course, Hemsworth is Hemsworth in it. Oh god, the trailer for Gods of Egypt, and just fuck that. Like, when Hollywood needs to learn, just like they just need to learn that like Egyptian history isn't all white people. Like, I know the Greeks invaded Egypt, and so technically, like, so Cleopatra was Greek and all that stuff, but not like every fucking major person was fucking white. Like, God. Anyway, that just seems like they're never gonna learn. So there's that. Oh yeah, then it was like the final like trailer for the Divergent series Allegiant. I haven't really watched that series. I heard it was pretty good, but I don't know. Because judging from this trailer, just like the previous one, again, it's one of those things that, like, the Chosen One kind of stuff, I get really sick and tired of that kind of storyline, especially when it comes to teen novels. And I understand, like, a lot of times what they're going for is, like, you know, because teens are so impressionable, you're like, well, I'm just trying to show them that they can do anything, and, you know, if they set their mind to it, or, like, some of us are just special the way we are, and you can't, you know, that whole stuff, and I fucking get that. At the same time, I'm getting so sick and tired of it. So sick and tired of, like, this kid who just kind of, like, doesn't give a fuck, but all of a sudden realizes that, like, they're, you know, meant for something better, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, I guess I'll start giving a fuck. But then they start giving way too many fucks, and then all of a sudden, like, they're just, yeah. So I'm just getting kind of sick and tired of like that kind of thing. But all right, yeah, I think that's all the trailers because I can't like, can't see anymore like on IMDb that I recognize. But yeah, that was the movies and all that stuff and whatever shit. I don't know, like Thanksgiving this week, and I got Walker Soccer Con like next month, next week. Oh my god, next week. Jesus Christ, shit's coming, shit's coming. But yeah. Anyway, I would say like see this. We saw this early in the day, so we didn't have to pay like the usual crazy like $15 or something for tickets. We paid $8, which I haven't paid $8 for a fucking movie ticket in like forever. You know, so it's like, oh, fuck it, you know. Yeah, I would say it's a good, like, matinee kind of thing, or watch at home. You know, if you've seen the other movies, like, definitely just see this, just kind of, like, just to wrap it up kind of thing. But yeah, it was definitely, like I said, and we enjoyed it. We had a good time, you know. Someone's stomach growled really loud at one point in the movie. Definitely wasn't any of us, but alright.